This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
Oh, hello.
Well, let's get back to it.
Swathes of England are officially in drought today, and there is no good news that includes the word swathes. Amid scorching temperatures and hardly any rain since June, supermarkets began rationing bottled water. Supermarkets have begun rationing bottled water to prevent panic buying. Yeah, how's that working out, by the way? Millions more households are edging closer to a hosepipe ban, so they're panic buying bottled water. Okay. People are panic buying water. They won't be able to afford to heat their homes this winter, but they'll probably starve first because they won't be able to eat either. Food banks will be joined by heat banks, where those in need will be able to sit in warmth for a few hours. They're predicting blackouts this year. The NHS is in need of emergency treatment. Pretty much every person in the land not employed as a banker is striking. Our inflation rate is half as much again as they have in Germany and France. Those Brexit promises delivered still only amount to the exit signs in the Dartford Tunnel being in yards, not metres, if they ever get around to changing them, which they won't. But apart from that, how's everything going?
Oh, fabulous.
Residents in London, the southwest, southern and central England and the east of England have been moved into drought status, where they are being urged to be frugal with water because of the driest summer in 50 years with no rain. They're told to be frugal with water by the same for-profit water companies who are throwing water around like Shamu having a fit. They waste more per day than each of us use per day. And they're telling us to be careful. And so now we see the start of the collapse of society. People are actually starting to panic buy water. I mean, well, what the hell is going on? In fact, inquiring minds are keen to find out. If only I could find it. There it is.
What the hell is going on?
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I agree with Donald Trump. I am totally innocent. Nothing found here. Your husband is under investigation, Melania.
I don't care.
She's actually not that bothered. Oh, my. His fans are, though. They're all riled up and ready to go. You're going to come and get my guns. Anyway. We're seeing the collapse of society. This is it. It's happening right now. After only 2 short years of your rule, Bodge.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
The entire country is falling flat in its face. People are actually panic buying water. I mean, you can survive when people start panic buying toilet roll. Or beer. But if there's some danger of water not coming out your tap, I think you may be living in a country that's not very well run.
Correct.
An Aldi in London put up posters limiting customers to between 3 and 5 bottles of drinking water each, amid panic buying. I'm on about 3 bottles of water a day now, man. But I can handle it. I'm just feeling a bit bloated at the moment, that's all. Today's official drought declaration will pile more pressure on water companies to ban consumers from hose pipes and sprinklers. Washing car with buckets of water from the tap could also be outlawed, as in forbidden. And if no rain arrives in the coming weeks, millions could also be banned from cleaning any vehicles, buildings and windows, and perhaps themselves. Apart from the most essential parts.
Disgusting.
And if no rain arrives, then it could also mean rationing for households. Britons have already been told to avoid baths and have short showers, plus put less water in the kettle. Well, what kind of a moron fills a kettle if they're only going to have a cup? Only do loads of laundry in washing machines and put on the dishwasher a maximum of once a day. Only do full loads. See, that was the part that I missed out. Now it makes sense. Full loads, idiot. Only do full loads of laundry as opposed to, just one sock, like most people do. Give that sock a thorough clean. Meanwhile, your town centre will only be navigable by small boat because the water company haven't fixed the mains leak that sent a tsunami wave of effluent down the high street. You know there's a water minister? Yeah, I found that out this week. I've done homework. Can you believe that?
No.
There is a bloke whose job is being a water minister. That is, he does not, minister kindness with the help of water, but he's supposed to be. I've got no idea. I mean, what does that job even entail? A water minister? Is that like a water monitor? Is that like a milk monitor? A water minister? His name is Steve Double. I am not making that up. He said all water companies have reassured us that essential supplies are safe. Oh, well. That's okay then. Safe, are they? Is that the same companies that have taken £57 billion in pure profits and awarded it to themselves for excellence in showing up to work? Since our most precious resource was sold off by the Tories, those companies that have taken £57 billion in profits rather than fix the leaks, that, remember, they waste as much per day as we use per person. That £57 billion, by the way, that was a figure up to 2019, so it's way over that by now. Let's say it's north of 60 billion, shall we? And it's not us being profligate with water, it's them losing it because they prefer that cash to come to them rather than mend the infrastructure. I mean, infrastructure. Boring. Who wants to spend money on that? Water firms in England and Wales let 681 million gallons of water from their pipes leak away every day. That's 1,245 Olympic swimming pools worth a day. 1,245 full Olympic swimming pools wasted by the water firms every day. Those same companies have taken about £60 billion in free money and showered it all over themselves. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Kev emails, I bet the voters in Uxbridge can't wait for September the 5th, for on that day, Bodger Johnson will no longer be PM and can devote all of his energies to being a great full-time MP. Good one, Kev. He will no doubt be holding several meetings per week when concerned residents can come to him with their problems. He'll be touring the... This is a listener with material, by the way.
Oh, no.
Shall I get to the end of it? Well, let's see how it goes. He'll be touring the food banks, ensuring nobody goes hungry this winter. He'll be I bet he tours the food banks and just helps himself to some snacks along the way. You know, keep him going to the end of the meeting where he can take off whatever item of clothing that he's borrowed from a worker. He'll be organising warm rooms as communal warm spaces to help those who can't afford to heat their homes, says Kev. What a generous bloke, giving freely of his time when he could be making shed loads of money, giving after-dinner speeches and writing books. Yeah, okay. Far too long and fewer people with material. Not that I'm complaining or anything, you know me.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
Let's have a call in Ruislip. Well, see, Uxbridge, Ruislip, next door. Hugger Mugger. Hello, Colin.
Nick, good evening. Why is it when we're in such a crisis that do we get everyone that knows everything about nothing telling us stuff we need to know when they should have told us years ago? Years ago, they told us to put solar panels on our roof to save electricity.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, we have got people saying homes should have Olympic-sized swimming pools under their houses to catch all the rainwater.
What? Who said that?
Someone on the telly said, why don't we have...
well, were they presenting a children's television programme at the time?
Well, no, I think it was Jack and Ori. I did speak to you
like
last
I
week.
said.
They are saying what we should know, they should have thought about years ago. And everyone's an expert on what we're knowing, what we're going through now.
I'm an expert on the following. No one in any position of authority or a person that should be listened to has ever said that we should all have an Olympic-sized swimming pool under our homes.
Well, okay, they should have said we should all arrange for storage of the rainwater to flush our toilet, the dishwasher water to flush our toilet. We shouldn't use fresh water. We should store all our rainwater for using for things like that.
Great idea.
But it is, but that should have been thought about 15 years ago before we got to this situation.
Well, you know what the second best time to think about that is? If it's not 15 years ago?
Go on.
Now.
Well, it is, but everyone's an expert on it. But why weren't these people coming forward years ago? Because years ago they said put solar panels on your roof.
Yeah. What's your problem with that?
Now, it's too late. It's too little too late.
It's too
because
late?
all the houses have been built. We know this. The other thing that happened years ago...
You can retrofit solar panels. They don't have to be built into the fabric of your home.
But how can you store rainwater to flush your toilet?
In a
but.
My house, I'm sorry to have to use this word to you, Colin, but.
But.
But. Say it with me.
Point
but
is, okay, never mind about the ifs or buts.
Yeah.
Another point is that a lot of people years ago had gardens. When all the rainwater came, it went into the water table. We've all concreted them over, had driveways, so all the water goes down the drains wasted.
Right. I would agree with you on that last point. There you seem to have something. Apart from the gardens part, there's not many people who concreted over their gardens, but they might have concreted over the tiny, tiny little bit that is not currently being occupied by recycling bins outside the front of their front door. The front of their front door. Well, that is accurate. The front, not the back of their front door, because that would be inside the house. Nobody wants that. Don't concrete the inside of your house. If necessary, concrete the outside. And that's, I hope that you're writing this stuff down. This is very, very important. Thanks a lot, Colin, for whatever that was. 0345 6060 973. Sue says, 90 firefighters this afternoon fought a very large fire on Studland Heath. I could see and smell the smoke from my home in Swanage. I love the smell of Studland Heath smoke in the morning. It's frightening, everywhere is so dry. I do wish someone sensible in government would put a ban on having barbecues and bonfires. What do you think? Sue, you lost me at sensible in government. I just wasn't listening to anything after that. So I do the weather? Oh, blimey, look at the time. God, doesn't it fly when you're out your mind?
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Hot H-O-T-A-I-R.
Lorna texts, I'm going to get this in early. What the bleep happened to yours and Carol's podcast this week? Yes, that's right. I do a podcast with Carol McGiffin.
Yeah.
And it did not appear this week, and it was all Carol's fault.
What?
It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol? And the problem this week is that we didn't have one. Because of a technical issue. Long story short, I thought I'd lost it because Carol's in France and I'm here. Okay, already this is a long story getting longer, not short. Carol's in France, I do it here, and so we meld our voices as though by magic through a little internet portal. Have you seen the internet? Oh, the stuff you'll find on there.
Disgusting.
And one half of the conversation was lost. At least that's what I thought, until an incredibly helpful person found it for us from this company. We haven't paid them a penny. Their service is free, and they just went way out of their way to help us find it. So it was a little bit late in the day to put it out on Monday. So that one, which I thought we'd lost, we'll call them the lost tapes, is going to come out on Monday with Carol's apology.
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
Carol McGiffin is very sorry. Mostly for the fact that our podcast did not come out on Monday, but it will be out on next Monday, I promise. That is my guarantee to you. Ask for it by name on the internet. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? Now, if you didn't hear this week's, then there are over 100 others, and I bet you haven't heard them all. So they're up there. All you got to do is find them. They're on Global Player, as is all the other podcasts, as are all the other podcasts that we do, including 2 others of mine. And Global Player is available for whatever device you have. Stick it up it. So there you are, Lorna. Long explanation, long. Long story, long. Never mind. Get on with it. Greenford. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Nick. Yeah, I think like if the weather cools down and if the Conservatives stop their infighting and just pick a leader, and Labour will have a good opposition, I think everything's going to turn out all right. You know,
is it? Oh, well, that's fantastic news, Paul. Thanks for passing that on. Everything's going to turn out all right. Is that believable? Not really. No. But I admire your optimism. Thanks a lot, Paul. Is it going to get any cooler anytime soon? Well, let's see the weather. Met Office Chief Meteorologist Andy said persistent high pressure over the UK means that temperatures have been rising day on day through this week, and temperatures are expected to peak at 36 centigrade over the weekend, and are not expected to drop below the low 20s overnight for some places in the south. It's going to be a sticky night. Oh, no. He said temperatures would drop early next week, with heavy showers likely in some places, accompanied by thunder, lightning, very, very frightening. A sweltering heatwave this week has meant a level 3 heat alert has come into effect.
Warning, warning.
A level 3 heat alert. That's not a warning, it's an alert.
Emergency, everybody to get from street. Emergency, everybody to get from street.
The chairman of the National Fire Chiefs Council, Mike, said he can't remember a summer like this in his entire 32-year career in the fire service. And that's not because he's lost his memory, it's because there hasn't been another year like it in the 32 years that he's been in the fire business. He said the ground couldn't get any drier than it already is. The wildfires are as prevalent in semi-urban areas as they are in rural communities, so it's difficult to know where the next one will be. Start right next to a moron, I would imagine. Just look for your local moron, and they'll probably start a fire. London Fire Brigade said its control room had dealt with 340 grass, rubbish and open land fires during the first week of August, an 8-fold increase on the 42 during the same period last year. Wow, 42 last year, 340 per week this year. Climate change is making heat waves more intense, unless you're one of those people that don't believe in numbers or science. Climate change is making heat waves more intense, more frequent and more likely, with July's record temperatures of more than 40 centigrade for the first time in the UK, as in ever, made at least 10 times more likely because of global warming, and virtually impossible without it, research shows. Scientists also say that droughts are becoming more likely due to human-driven climate change, warning of the need to cut greenhouse gas emissions, like Toya used to say. And we must take steps to prepare the UK for the impacts of rising temperatures. And the government said,
No.
No, we need more coal. That research, of course, all of that research about climate change being man-made and causing all of these, the fires and the drought and all of the rest of it, that was dismissed by melting candle Lord David Frost. That pasty, sagging genius behind the Brexit negotiations, which were apparently so badly handled that the nation is now in imminent danger because of them. He keeps popping up, giving us the benefit of his wisdom. Thank you, David Frost. You have disappointed us enough. He's an actual lord. I mean, if there is a better reason to scrap the whole House of Lords, fire the lot of them and start again, I do not know of one. Lord David Frost. What a silly country this is. Mike Childs, head of research at the Friends of the Earth, said the climate crisis was hitting home this summer. As another health-threatening heatwave hits the UK, rivers and reservoirs have run dry. Drought threatens our food and water supplies. A deepening cost of living crisis is set to leave millions of people unable to afford their energy bills. He said it was utterly baffling that the candidates to be the next dear leader were not grabbing green solutions, as he called for investment in the UK's renewable potential and kickstarting an insulation programme to keep homes warm in the winter and the cool summer. Utterly baffling, he said. Utterly baffling that the candidates are not grabbing green solutions. It's not utterly baffling. The candidates aren't remotely interested in solving problems. They aren't interested in anything past September the 5th, when the winner is announced. But there was one Tory party member interviewed on the telly the other day who said he wasn't interested in saving the planet because he was at an age when it didn't matter to him. With a straight face he said that, as though it's a perfectly normal, reasonable thing for a human to say. Oh, I'm not interested in saving the planet. I'm too old to be bothered with that. I'll be gone by the time, any improvement is found, so what do I care? These are the people that a minority of us have elected to run the country.
Oh, fabulous.
What's going on around here? Meanwhile, Met Office boss Paul said the increasing heatwave temperatures may now occur once in every 5 years and annually by the end of the century. He said, when I started out as a forecaster, if someone had said, in your lifetime you'll be seeing 40 degrees, I'd have said, no, surely not. He said, we're in uncharted waters. We're entering areas we've never experienced before, and it's not just the UK, it's the planet as a whole. And the defenders of the oil industry, many of whom have been bought off with an embarrassingly small sum, are furiously trying to stem the advance of green renewable energy. Because if we all become energy independent, with solar and heat pumps and so on, then their entire business model that's earned them trillions of dollars comes to a halt. And they will do anything to stop that happening. Be highly suspicious of those that rail against green energy and promote coal mines and fracking and North Sea oil exploration. It is possible they don't have our best interests at heart. Last night, Andrew Sells, out of Natural England, accused water companies of selling off reservoirs that would have helped ease the drought to housing developers. What? Andrew Sells, head of Natural England, between 2014 and 2019, accused water companies of selling off reservoirs to housing developers. Ain't that great? They're a water company. Their business is storing water and providing it to customers. So their first point of call is to drain the reservoir, sell off the land to a housing developer, pocket the cash, and hope for the best. He said several of our water companies preferred to build houses on some of their reservoirs, and last week we learned that together they have built precisely 0 new reservoirs in the last 30 years. None at all. Not one. 0. A very, very small... Even the Zaphod knows 0 is a very, very small number.
And 1?
Yeah, less than that. In abandoning this infrastructure, he said, without any replacements, they have again put short-term profits ahead of long-term supply. Which seems like the slogan of the privatisation of all the things that we rely on the most that the Tory government of Margaret Thatcher enacted. Short-term profits ahead of long-term supply. It's the Conservative way. Look up Conservative in a dictionary, small c, and see what it says. It's almost the exact opposite of the Conservatives' big C. Curious, that. Almost like they're trying to gaslight us. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nica@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. I still haven't got to the actual weather yet. I've done the climate, but not the weather. So I'll do that in a minute.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And I can't stand him.
Nicholas emails, and listen to the end before you start yelling at the radio. He says, I'm a Conservative Party member and I strongly believe in Brexit as I had made an informed decision to leave the EU. I have a deep knowledge of modern politics and English history in equal measure. My question is about Windsor Castle and whether it is underneath the flight path. If so, can you tell me who was the genius behind building the Queen's house underneath the flight path? Croydon. Hello, Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Terry.
Yeah, I just thought I should point out that for every litre bottle of water, it takes about 8 litres of water to make the bottle and about 1.5 litres of water to fill it. And that's even before you start transporting it about.
So it takes So if it's a litre bottle of water and it takes a litre and a half to fill it, how do you get a litre and a half? How do you squeeze it in there? Do you push it really hard?
Well, it's just the manufacturing process. The spillage and
spillage
stuff you can't.
Right.
Yeah, ullage. That sort of thing.
Right. It always struck me as being a bit odd, really. I mean, when did we get so thirsty?
Yeah, it is. I remember when I was a lad, I don't think you could get bottled water.
Well, no such thing existed.
Bottled water, they'd look at you.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd slap you around the head.
Right. You don't want cola, they'd say.
Yeah. Cream soda.
Yeah. So yummy. Cream soda. Blimey, I haven't... and as you said it, I can actually taste it.
Just water generally, we don't think about it, but like a new car,
yes.
You're going to be using 20,000 gallons plus of water, 500 gallons just for a tyre. And to grow enough cotton for one pair of jeans and a t-shirt, you could be using 2,000 gallons.
Oh, you're just making it up now? Just pulling numbers out of the air like Zaphod people.
No, this is from the 71% website, which is to do with the use of water.
71%. What does that refer to?
I think it refers to the amount of water in the human body.
Oh, human beings, 71%.
Or it might be the 71% of water that's like the actual volume.
Right.
But it's a very good website. It's very interesting.
Well, when you say interesting, are you being truthful about that?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the fact that a ton of steel needs 62,000 gallons of water. That's American.
Wow, that is very, very interesting. Yeah, please tell me more numbers.
Well, no. What I should tell you is that during this hot weather, already just generally, especially cold weather as well, could people put out a nice saucer, like one of those ones you put under a pot,
yes,
full of water, and clean it every day for birds to bath and drink in it?
Yeah, birds and they do all sorts in it. Yeah, very good idea. Yes, excellent.
That's why you have to clean it.
Quite, yes, and don't let the foxes anywhere near it.
No, or anything else really.
No. Okay, you're full of it, Terry, but it's probably not the first time you've heard that. Excellent work. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, stop buying bottled water, people, unless they're advertising with us, in which case it's an excellent way to stay hydrated on the move. Tom says, so this is the day I've been looking forward to. We're given instructions from Boris on what we need to do and what we can't do with water. I, for one, will ignore the rules, as we have learnt rules are for common people to follow and not the elite. I bet everything I have that at least one MP is found filling his pool or filling a duck pond. Yes, exactly. Precisely right. And I bet that person is Fishy Sunak. Have I done the weather yet? Oh, I haven't, have I? Dry and clear tonight, staying warm for many. Saturday, fine and sunny, low cloud, fog clearing quickly. Hot or very hot with the highest temperatures in central and southern England. It was very, very misty this morning. I don't know if you noticed that. You could barely see the drink in front of your face. Ain't that right, Carol?
Booze.
Sunday to Tuesday, dry, sunny and hot in the south on Sunday. Heavy showers or thunderstorms for part of Scotland and Northern Ireland. I bet I know which parts of Scotland as well. One moment, please. Checking while you wait. Aha! Well, not raining tomorrow in Glasgow. 81 degrees. What? You're going to be bursting into flames, people in Glasgow. Sunday. Normal services resumed. Raining on Sunday and raining on Monday. And then, blimey, 63, 81 down to 63 in a matter of days. It's over. It is over. 64, 65, raining here and there in Glasgow. What's it going to be like here? Equally depressing? I mean, sometimes the weather just switches off and it's instant autumn. Well, not so bad down here. But that's why it costs more to live here. So, dry, sunny, hot in the south, heavy showers you know where. From Monday, becoming widely unsettled with showers and thunderstorms and cooler. So does this mean that it's actually over then? Well, let's see. Would you like to hear the long-range forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
A breakdown of the sunny and the dry weather in the middle 2 weeks of August. Becoming more settled across the UK. Showers likely in places, sometimes heavy and thundery. Drier periods, sunny spells still expected. Stronger winds in the north and the northwest, with maybe more persistent rain at times. Temperatures becoming closer to normal for August, but still feeling warm for many. That's the middle 2 weeks of August. Now, last call for summer. Last week of August, first week of September. This is it, people. Fingers crossed. Generally more settled towards the end of August. Into September, spells of rain are likely, mostly in the northwest. Mostly. However, periods of dry and sunny weather can still be expected in between. Temperatures are likely to be above average with the occasional chance of very warm spells. Temperatures are likely to be above average with the occasional chance of very warm spells. We'll take it. Here is a call in Faversham. James.
Oh, hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
I heard you talking about the water companies selling reservoirs.
Yes.
And well, it's a double whammy, isn't it? Because the houses they build in the land for reservoirs, what do they need?
Water.
They need water.
Yes.
So it's just so short-sighted.
There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. Everybody sing.
No, thanks. Where my mum and dad live, there's a town of sort of about 18,000 probably, and they're building over the next couple of years 5,000 more houses. And this isn't sort of in southeast England, Kent. So where are they going to get? If we're on water shortages now, what are they going to do if they're not building water infrastructure? They're not building schools. They're not building doctors.
Not building doctors.
We need doctor surgeries.
Yeah.
We need the houses. I totally agree with that, but just put the rest of it in at the same time.
Yeah, it's almost like there's no one actually bothered to run the country, to plan for the future, which is what I thought we were paying them to do, but apparently not. We're apparently paying them to make sure that the donor class gets theirs, so the political class gets theirs.
But what's your opinion on, do you think we have sort of personal responsibility to use less water as well?
Yes, of course, we do waste it. I mean, I see it all the time. Morons leaving a tap in the toilet. They'll turn on, the few toilets that actually have turn taps. I hate those. If it's levers are fine, you can close it with your elbow. Turn taps, nightmare. But they'll just turn it on and then walk away. Because, why? They're too tough to turn it off? I see that all the time. In the gym, you see it everywhere you go.
But it annoys me when you talk about climate change and people say, well, China is using loads of energy, so why should we do it? Well, we should do it because you can still do your part.
Exactly.
Yes, the water companies are wasting lots of water, which is a terrible thing, but we can all still do our own little bit, to save water.
Correct.
I think my mum might take it a bit too far. When she turns her tap on for hot water, she has empty milk cartons, jugs. So she fills those up with the cold water.
Right. That's not taking it too far. That's perfectly sensible.
She uses the bath water. She's got a hose pipe going out the bathroom window, which they siphon every night to water the plants. They've got 7 water butts.
Right, well, that's not taking it too far. That is being sensible with a limited resource. And I know that the water doesn't go anywhere, but as far as the planet is concerned, but it goes to places that don't need it from places that do. So the entirety of human civilization has grown up around the reliability of a water supply. Everywhere that you look, every major conurbation has grown up around water, or some certainty about the supply of water, like the rains always come at a certain time, and when the water becomes uncertain, there goes humanity.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got to go soon, but can I save you a bit of time with your text reading out?
Okay.
I've got a brilliant idea. So what you do, in the ad breaks, you read a load of text messages, and then you play them at sort of 1.5 times speed. And so saving time, because they'll be read quicker, get them out of the way with, and then tomorrow when I listen to you, you won't be whinging and whining and moaning about having 16 pages of text messages.
Like I would, right. But that would mean
also,
I would have to
people.
actually... Wait a minute. That would mean that I have to work during the ad breaks as well.
What else you do?
Well, have a nap, put my feet up, smoke a cheroot, I'm busy over here. Anyway, good suggestion there, James. Keep it to yourself. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Alan texts, Sir Starmer is wrong about the number of smart meters in prepay mode, not 4 million, it's 22 million. He said they should be abolished and that would cause a lot of high-value debt. The 70% debt clawback is harsh, but they don't talk about that in energy price crisis. What are you talking about? Tom says... See, I wish I'd read that at 1.5 times normal speed. Tom says, it would appear that the blunder truss is unable to lower her arms anymore. They are now permanently in a half-cocked position. Is this levelling up? He's criticising your arms, mistrust.
That is a disgrace.
Daniel says, I've said it before, but maybe the Mayans were right and the world did actually end in 2012. Well, that would answer a lot of questions that we've been having lately. Maybe this is all a projection. Is this real or am I hallucinating? Southampton, hello, Simon.
Nick.
Ah, Simon, can you just hold right there?
Yeah.
He said, yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Thank you for holding. Your call is important to us.
Yes, thank you for holding, Simon. Your call is important to us.
Thanks, Nick. Oh, it's a pleasure. Just a couple of very quick things. Just out of interest, I'm currently parked up about a quarter of a mile away from Peppa Pig World.
Are you really? And how does it look from there?
It still stinks.
Stinks? It stinks like Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig World. Peppa Pig World is it has
Peppa Pig?
Peppa Pig
is the right answer.
Anyway, I just had a thought, right? Isn't it really, like, weird that the Tory Brexiters aren't up in arms that all of the utilities in this country and a lot of the infrastructure is owned by companies in Europe?
Yes.
You would think that they would be desperate to nationalise it all.
Bring it back from the French.
What?
Yes.
But I've not heard a single one, not a single one, even mention it. That is how hypocritical they are.
Well, their first port of call, their first concern is making money for themselves and the donor class. All other considerations are secondary.
Yeah, but that's those ones. But what I'm talking about is just your normal communal garden in the street.
Right.
I'm still, I still think Brexit's fab, etc., etc., etc. You would think that, just those normal people that have got no idea politically what they're doing, you would think they would at least cross their minds. So
yes.
Hang on a minute. Why is this happening? And I have to go because I've got a job to do. But just quickly as well, do we think Donny's going to be end up in prison?
No chance.
I think yes.
Well, I think no. I'd be willing to have a small wager on that basis. That no, I do not think Donald Trump is going to prison. Not now, not ever, never. People like him never pay the consequences for anything they ever do.
All right, Nick. I tell you what. Then I'll have a wager with you. Right? We'll give it 1 year.
Right.
if by this time next year he's still walking as a free man,
right,
I will give £10 donation to a charity of your choosing. But if he's inside, you've got to give £10 to a charity of my choosing.
It's
How
a
about
deal.
that?
That's a deal.
Okay. Thanks, Nick.
I'll forget about that deal that we've just made almost the moment I hang up on you. But as it stands, you've got a deal. Thanks a lot, Simon. Just as long as that deal isn't binding. 0345. Get me a lawyer on the phone right now. I mean it. Apparently, Boris Johnson's called in lawyers about his. Oh, I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. That man. I mean, he just drains the life out of you, doesn't he? Ask his previous wives. Howard's texts. Water is as essential to life as is oxygen, yet they charge for water. It won't be long before those Tory bleeps fit each of us with air meters and charge for it per cubic metre. I hope I haven't given them an idea, says Howard. Don't worry, they're way ahead of you. If they could have done, they would have done. If they could have done it, they would have done it by now. Believe me. 0345 6060 973. I want to talk about Rishi Sunak's pool and what the Liz bot has been yakking on about this week as well. Ugh, so painful. What have we done to deserve this? East Yorkshire, hello Mike.
Hi Nick, how are you?
Great, mate.
Good. Hot weather, I haven't been able to work, so I've been doing some homework.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, energy and water. The energy bit, I wondered why the electricity price wasn't being affected by all our offshore wind. I mean, you and I like onshore, but everyone else seems to like offshore.
Yeah, no,
So
I like offshore wind. Offshore wind is great. It's my favourite sort of wind.
We also like onshore.
Actually, let me correct that. It's my second favourite sort of wind.
Disgusting. So I had a look at how the offshore industry actually works, and it emerges that Queen Elizabeth
owns the lot. All of the money that gets made out there goes straight into her purse. I can't stand it.
Not quite, but she does apparently own the seabed.
Yeah.
And she gets money for allowing the wind people to screw their turbines into the seabed.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, she's going to get 78 million this year in what are called royalties.
Yeah,
and when you
royalties.
When you look the deal up, what she actually gets is a quarter of the profit from every turbine.
Wow.
Seriously. Now, no wonder Lizzies don't like windfall taxes. But I was stunned when I saw that and somewhat irritated. But anyway, what really got me annoyed was the water companies were privatised by Maggie, right? Now, since then, most of them have been sold to foreign owners.
Yes.
The biggest to Australia. Now, it's really annoying to me that the dividends from their vast profits go abroad. Mm-hmm. But what really annoyed me even more when I dug into it is these experts that have been on since the water crisis has been on have been saying the water companies have now got huge debts. And I thought, that's a weird thing. Why is that happening?
Well, yeah. Do you know why? Because I've done homework as well. It's every vampire capitalist's wizard scheme. Load the company with debts, give that money that you just borrowed to yourself for excellence in showing up to work, thereby saddling the company with the debt, but you personally have made out like a bandit.
Absolutely right, Nick. But the problem is they've borrowed this money from foreign lenders, and they've borrowed it at way over normal commercial rates.
Yeah, they don't care because the money went to them personally.
Exactly, but it's all going overseas, so they're milking us twice the dividends and the interest on their debts. It's all going overseas.
This is how capitalism works these days. Companies like vampire hedge funds or something like that will take over a company, a perfectly reasonably well-run company, who have hundreds, if not thousands, of people relying on it for work and for pensions and for the upkeep of their town, and an entire community will rely on it. And so they charge in, they slash everything to the bone, they load up the company with hundreds of millions of pounds worth of debt, which they give to themselves as free cash. And then they say, oh, well, the company can't survive on all of this debt, so it'll go out of business. They've made £100 million, and then they just up sticks and fly on to the next company that they've ravaged like a cloud of locusts.
I know. But the really annoying thing, it was our money. But just looking back onto the reservoirs, there's two reservoirs near me. A couple of years ago, they sold one of the reservoirs for housing. Now, it was only a little one. It's about the size of Centre Court at Wimbledon. But it was still a reservoir, but it's been sold for housing.
Yes.
Mad.
Well, yeah, I've dealt with that already on this show. They sell them off for housing, and of course, as the previous caller outlined, obviously, what housing needs more than anything else is water. But they ain't got no water because they just sold the reservoir off. Oh, for crying out loud! I am going to sing that song. There's a hole in my bucket. Come on, sing it with me, dear Liza, dear Liza. Okay, all right. No, I'm all out of lyrics. But thanks a lot, Mike. Appreciate it. 0345 6060 973. Well, get a bucket. Oh no, wait. It goes. I don't know. It's a great song. It's right up there in the pantheon of rock songs.
Rock and roll.
Not really. Haven't heard it in a good long while. Amusing. Caroline says, if it doesn't rain soon, my garden will have tumbleweeds. I bet it's raining in Glasgow. Lucky people. You lucky, lucky people. Do you feel lucky?
No.
Not really, no. There was one of those satellite images of the entire country. Did you see that? God, it's apart from Glasgow and the very north of Scotland and bits of Wales, of course, which were green. You remember green, don't you?
No.
Yeah, it was green. The rest of the country is bran, and I don't like bran. Well, those bits that aren't actually on fire right now were brown. Still, I'm sure it'll be all right in the end. Our next dear leader, Liz Truss, says there's nothing to worry about. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Hello.
Well, the whole world's gone crazy.
Yep, the whole world has in fact gone crazy. But Environment Secretary George Useless said that you should not be concerned about the potential of water running out because he is overseeing it personally.
Do not panic! Do not panic! We are trained professionals!
He is a trained professional. In what? We don't know. But at least we have his full attention. Simon says, how many buckets of water will it take to fill Rish's new swimming pool? Obviously, he won't be allowed to use the hose. He plays by the rules. Yeah. Sure he does. Let's have Humberside. Hello, Derek.
Hi, Nick.
Derek.
You all right?
Yes, good, thanks.
Apparently Useless is a trained shepherd. Don't panic.
Right.
Anyway, just to get back to what I was going to say. Yeah, I heard during the week that Ofgem have decided to lift the price couple. Instead of every 6 months, they're going to be able to do it every 3 months now because they want to help the electricity companies out. and gas companies so they don't go out of business. So that means we've got a rise in October, a rise in January, and one next April as well. So that's really good of them. But the thing that I ask, why don't they allow these companies to go out of business? Because then the government would have to take over, and it would be back in public hands. And surely that is the best way to be going with all this lot. I think all our utilities, and you said, didn't you, earlier on, that there'd be no new reservoirs built for 30 years. Well, it was just over 30 years ago when the water companies were sold off, wasn't it?
Isn't that curious? Well? It's just a coincidence, I'm sure.
So I think that they should actually take all these companies back into public hands. The share prices of these companies would go through the floor because it was going to be taken over, and then we could get things back on an even keel. Because I don't like to think of the past. Past is the past, but surely we wouldn't have been in this position before all this lot was sold off. And you had a company like BP, which was nationally owned as well, wouldn't you? So, as well as, you'd have a company there where you'd be earning money on stuff that you was pulling out the ground as well.
What kind of a stupid country sells off its gas and electricity and water? Which other country on earth has ever done that, apart from us? I'll give you the answer to that question. None. Zero. No other country in the world has ever sold its electricity, its gas and its water. Only us could have been that stupid.
That's right. And the other thing is, I mean, it's about time that we need to just get rid of this government because it's just a disgrace.
Well,
now, I'd like to start a thingy tonight, Nick.
Oh, a thingy.
And it's hashtag take utilities back. Let's get the hashtag trending and let's start a campaign for the next government, whoever it is, to put that in their manifesto, that it's now time to take this lot back because it's getting ridiculous.
Right, that sounds suspiciously like socialism to me. Boo! You're not one of these radical lefties, are you, Derek?
No, not at all. I think I'm just a right-thinking person.
I'd have your travel bag packed at all times because it sounds to me like you are on the list to find yourself in Rwanda first thing in the morning. But I wish you all the best. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. The dear leader brooks no criticism. Paul texts, I watch the news on TV. When the camera focuses on the newsreader and he or she opens their mouth, my brain auto-inserts, oh, hello. Oh, hello. Right. Or as in...
Oh, hello.
I'd like them to start like that. Wouldn't you? I'd actually watch the TV news if they started.
Oh, hello.
Here's the 6 o'clock news. Hello. Ian says, can you speak Zahawi? We need his speeches translated, and you made us start with his maths. Yeah, okay, translate this.
So obviously, but I know certainly, but. But obviously...
Thank you, Zaphod. You have delighted us enough. Just fills the air with noise and numbers signifying nothing. Dundee. Hello, Jean.
Hello?
Jean.
Yeah. I just found out today... I've been waiting for my cost of living allowance. I'm a pensioner.
Mm-hmm.
And I phoned up the pensions office today.
Yes.
And the very first thing that the answer is, if you're phoning about the cost of living allowance, it will be paid directly into your bank account.
Right.
Then they give you several other options.
Yeah.
And number 5 is to speak to someone, which I pressed.
And?
I was on the phone for an hour and 10 minutes.
What?
And got an hour and 10 minutes I waited to be answered. I eventually got answered from a girl who told me that you must be getting pension credits.
Right.
So I says to her, well, I don't know if I get that. So I give her my national insurance number, and she checked it up, and she says, no, you don't get pensioner credit.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm lost here. She says, well, you have to apply for pension credit, but if you've got over £10,000 in savings,
Yeah.
you're not entitled to the cost of living allowance.
You get nothing.
No.
And?
Now, I have got savings.
Right.
I've worked all my life. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't go out. And I've been careful with my money, and because I'm careful, I'm not entitled.
Right.
I think that's unfair.
I'd start drinking if I were you, Jean.
I'll go to the nearest street corner and get something.
No, steady. Get your messages. Is that what you mean?
No.
Out for your messages. I know. What a country, eh, Jean?
I think it's incredible.
Yeah, it's credible. It's actually totally credible. People say it's unbelievable. It's not unbelievable. It is believable. This is not an accident. They are deliberately doing this to you.
But how has that never been advertised?
Well, they have all these benefits, but you have to know, you have to opt in, which is a cute way of getting away with paying fewer people benefits who actually need them.
I think it's a bloody disgrace.
I think it's a bleeping disgrace too, Jean. And I wish you all the best, and I ain't got nothing to suggest.
I'd love to know how many other people are in this position, because as soon as you phone up, they tell you that it'll be paid automatically into your bank account.
They're lying about that.
Now, yeah, but how many people would just say, oh, well, I'll know, hold on, I'll just hang up and wait for it to go in my account?
Right, and sit there in fevered anticipation.
Yes.
And getting nothing eventually.
Yes.
Well, did you vote Conservative, Jean? I'll take that as a no. All right, cheers, my dear. Thanks for that. I wish you all the best. I wish you a lot of luck. You're going to need it. We all are. God. You get the feeling that it's about to get worse? That after...
Yeah. Wait a minute.
After Mr. Blobby exits stage left, that things are about to get a lot worse.
We have never had it so good.
Yeah, that's exactly what she thinks. The next dear leader, even worse than the previous one. Can you believe it? What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
Matty texts, what is this I've just heard on your news bulletin tonight that Keir Starmer is complaining the media shouldn't be having a go at him for being invasive? Invasive. Especially on what to do on this cost of living co-fuffle. What do you make of them? Who? I think you mean evasive, not invasive. Nobody has ever accused Keir Starmer of being invasive. It's not in him. Evasive, oh yes. Boatloads of that. Huge. Complaining the media shouldn't be having a go at him for being evasive, he said. Being evasive. Oh, stop picking on me. Where is he, by the way? I mean, I know that Bodge is on a permanent vacation.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
But what's the other guy doing? And the Liz bot and Fishy are busy wrestling each other to the ground to see how evil they can be. Trying to appeal to the Bufton Tuftons of Budley Salterton in their pink trousers. Pah! All that lot. God. This used to be a well-ordered country. Didn't it? I mean, if you can think back long enough, like about 3 years, I'd say. This used to be a fairly well-ordered country, even when you-know-who was in charge.
I think this is nonsense.
Even when he was in charge, it was a well-ordered country. And then Peppa Pig starts rampaging through the land, and that's it. Game's over. Daryl says the brains looks like she's, as in the brains truss, looks like she's following in the footsteps of Andrea Loathsome and is set to become the new Lady Fracula. I don't know what kind of a pivot that Truss is going to do, is going to perform after she becomes the next dear leader, because she is not saying anything that the majority of the public want to hear right now. She's just giving all of her pronouncements directly into the ears. She's going to have to speak up a bit because they're a bit deaf. Right into the ears of the harumphing old geezers who prop up the bar at the golf club. Those bores. Every single thing she's saying right now is directed solely at them, not us. She's going to say I bet you she's going to say the exact opposite on every given issue after she gets the job that she said in order to get that job. Adam says, we've reached the culmination of the disaster that is Blobis Poison's tenure. We've spent months and months of this government focusing on nothing but defending their leader, and right when we need a government to help us the most, they're concerned with picking a new unfit leader to take over from the previous one. All leads back to voting him in. It's all your fault, Bodge. What do you think? He's undecided. Yeah, and they're doing the exact thing that Trump's fans are doing in America, saying that any attempt to criticise, never mind about prosecute, to criticise him for the things that he is guilty of is picking on him. God, if this was how law and order works in this country, not one single person would ever have gone to jail. Oh, yeah, well, I was standing there with a knife in my hands and there's blood all over me, but, you know, it's like, why are you picking on me for it? It's just... every single thing that happens in America is happening here too. We've got baby Trump over here. And his fans are doing the exact same thing. Any hint of criticism is lefty, socialist, Marxist. I feel that energy just draining out of me, which is probably exactly what they want. You can put up a fight for just so long, and then you think, oh, just take. I don't care anymore. Just reach into my pockets and take all of my money. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Oh, by the way, British customers of energy company EDF, you know EDF, out of France. Bill! Yes. We are paying twice as much as those people who are customers of the very same company in France. Britons with the French energy giant have had their bills capped at £1,970 by regulator Ofcom, about to go up to £5,000. French customers, 804. Those numbers again. French customers pay £804. Britons with the very same energy company, £1,971. Yeah, that's all working. It's just working splendidly. Nothing to see here. Please move along.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbot.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
Yes, I think I'm having a breakdown. Meninda texts, we have a leak in Wolverhampton that's been going on for so long its footprint is visible on Google Earth. Is that true? Derek says, can you do a rain dance? You bet your life I can. I'm great at it. I also like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. If you're not into yoga and you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight...
Disgusting.
...in the dunes on the Cape, then I'm the love that you've looked for. Write to me and escape. Let's have a call in... Lewisham. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Jane.
You know, my phone,
No.
it's like the country. It's not working very well.
Oh, you mean you
So
don't ordinarily sound like this?
No, I'm not bothered what I sound like. And so I won't be able to send you any emails anymore.
Oh, well, that's okay, because
That's a shame,
I
isn't
don't
it?
read them.
Oh, don't you really?
No.
I see. Oh, well, I can't send any. You know, I'll have to get another phone.
Yeah. Okay,
and,
well, I'll look forward to that.
I see. And you're talking about drinks. You know, milk. Milk. You get 4 pints for £1.65.
Where?
4 pints. That's in any shop.
Nonsense.
They're about
That is not true. 165 for 4 pints. It's at least 180.
No, I saw it for. Well, I bought it for 165. Right, 4 pints. So that is really value for money, and it's so good for you, milk. It really is.
I tell you what, it's just about cheaper than water. I bet you can't buy 4 pints of water for £1.85.
I know that. That's why I'm saying it,
Yeah.
Nick. That's and.
What's curious to me
you know,
is where they get milk from. I mean, does anybody actually know?
Yes, we do know, Nick. But you know, I mean, that is marvellous, isn't it? And
Well-
people don't appreciate their milk.
Yeah, people should appreciate milk.
Yes, definitely. Anyway, I've told you we've got the motoringparty.co.uk.
Yeah, you've told me
To
this.
sort all
You're just
this
you're just
out.
you're just repeating this now, Jane.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know, you might have some new
No,
listeners.
not really, no.
And we can go click, click, click and sort this.
Right, okay. Well, whatever it is that you just said, I completely agree in every way, shape and form. Somebody should look into that whole milk thing. Well, I mean, where does it come from? Does anybody really know? I certainly hope that it's not unseemly. Marmaduke texts, Morrison's water aisle was barren this evening, so I had to buy bottles of things that looked similar to water as possible. Gin. Gin and tonic I was panic buying for sure, says Marmaduke. Well, that just makes sense.
Booze.
Matt emails, I propose an early hours smash and grab raid into Scotland to nab some of their plentiful H2O. Would Nicholas spot us? No, probably not. Feltham, Ian.
Hello, Nick.
Ian.
Now, did I miss something? All these people complaining about the hardships, but did we have a military coup, or was the Tories re-elected? And Corbyn, who wanted to bring all the public utilities back into public ownership, rejected. So all you misery guts moaning out there, you brought it on yourselves, and I've got no sympathy for you whatsoever. I'm sorry, it sounds heartless, but I'm sorry the truth hurts.
Well, that's it's stern but fair, I think, Ian. On the other hand, it's not the majority of people that voted Conservative. It's about 46% of even those who could be bothered to get up out of their chairs and go down to the polling booth. So it's a minority of the people that voted Conservative. The majority voted for parties that are to the left of centre, as usual, and, as usual, they get nothing.
You can't tell me, Nick, that a load of those people who are complaining were not Corbyn haters. 'Cause I've seen it myself. People who knew hated him are now complaining about what's happening to them. So, hard cheese.
Okay. And there we are back with the milk again. Thanks a lot, Ian. He's not upset. Actually, he is upset. Lee in Tennessee says, you're not wrong about the Orange One's cult. They're losing their flipping minds here. The neighbours that I mentioned before that have their Trump 2022 flag are in complete meltdown. Apparently it's the end of democracy. The FBI are fascists and something about Jeebus. Business as usual in Crazy Town. Anyway, you're keeping me relatively sane, says Lee in Tennessee. I'd move from that locale straight away, if not sooner, Lee. Get out of that zip code. Matt emails. Is this the same one as before? No water left in Sainsbury's, so I had to buy 25 bottles of Merlot. I'll have to extract the aqua from that, I guess. giving us constant updates. He's been trying to buy water without success. His drinks cabinet is full to overflowing. Let's have Camden. Hello, Ellie.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Ellie.
Can you hear me?
It sounds like you.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
No?
Yes, you can. Hi. I just want to point out a couple of things.
Yeah.
One is that Liz Truss actually told the truth today.
No.
Yes, she did. She said, we have never had it so good. And
We
it is
have
true that
never had it so good.
her voice is going to drive me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Tories have never had it so good.
Oh.
So that was a truth.
Right. Yeah. Who's the we part in that sentence?
The
Very well
Tories.
spotted there, Ellie.
Thank you. But the other thing I want to say is she's rattling on. It sounds like a schoolgirl to me.
Yeah.
About profit is a good word. But she doesn't seem to know the difference between profit and outright extortionism.
It's profit versus profiteering.
Well, I call it extortionism. My bills are horrendous.
Yeah, well, I can't disagree. Talk about not reading the room. I mean, she is absolutely hopeless. She is like a robot that has had misinformation fed into it. You know, a robot can only be as good as its program.